How long did she have that piece of chocolate? One afternoon, just before my break, Rumpel approaches me with a mischievous smile on his face. My lovely princess, how are you today? What do you want? Your cold shoulder is enticing. What is wrong with this guy? I have one more table to serve. Don't bother me. But princess, I've decided I know exactly how to teach you to be good. You should say that at least my friends didn't stand me up and I didn't have to play with my mom because she was my only friend. Wow. Alright, well. Glad I read that out loud. But princess, all of your other lessons have been useless so far. Anyways, please just trust me. To put my trust in someone is a weakness. I'm going to teach you how to flirt. Oh, god damn it. Seriously? What? The first step to flirting is eye contact, princess. Wait, but why are you... Rumpel points at my customer, a young man sitting right beside the window. The second is to smile. Smile, princess, because I'm sure you look even more stunning when you do. Then you start a conversation with him. Body language is important. There are certain signals that key men into the fact that a woman is interested in them. Like twirling her hair or eating ice. What is that? I think playing with your hair... Oh my god, I was right. I think playing with your hair is one. A gentle tap on the shoulder is another. I should have expected Rumpel to spout this sort of nonsense. Princess? The customer's been waiting for a while. Is something wrong? I noticed the customer looking at me expectantly. He's just a man, the usual customer that I actually often see. Oh, and princess, do not forget the compliments. Make them as delicate and illustrative as you can. I move away from Rumpel before he can muddle my thoughts any further. Already my feet feel like lead. I find myself staring at the man for far too long. The way he stares back at me, the expression so unreadable, suddenly makes me feel more uncomfortable. Do I really have to do what Rumpel says? No, you don't. Don't give it to peer pressure. I stop in front of the man and set down his tray. My eyes still on his. Oh god. I don't have to follow Rumpel's advice, but for some reason my lips quirk. The smile on my face lasts all of a half second. Are you okay? Guys, I'm gonna go for it. I can feel Rumpel smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think this is some sort of prank. But considering this is the way Rumpel acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. I try to recall how he flirted with his customers before. I couldn't help but notice you were alone, sir. Oh god. I'm always alone. My heart is thumping far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumpel usually say? Madame, you are the most beautiful thief I've ever met. For that, you who has stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. Oh god, don't do it. Don't do it. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. I'm gonna wash my mouth with soap after all this. Oh, it was painful to say it out loud. And in his voice too. It was just incredibly demeaning as a person. Anyways, we're gonna keep going. All he does is spout complimentary bullshit. I'll try to do the same. How is it you'd always be alone when you have such lovely eyes? The customer stares at me baffled. I force myself to continue. Your eye. Oh, it's painful to listen. Oh, I could just imagine. Your eyes remind me of the leaves in fall as they flutter beneath the bright gaze of the sun and... I'm gonna throw up. I stop. The words nothing more than a shallow lie makes me feel strangely hollow. The man is just staring at me, but he looks uncomfortable. Still, I don't think he is anywhere near as uncomfortable as I am. But, Bab. Perhaps you would. My voice trails off. I bite my lip. So hard, I can taste something metallic. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. I want to stab you. No, Kish, don't. Oh. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. My whole face is hot, and I can feel anger boiling deep inside of me. Ah, princess. Leave me alone! Princess, we're not done. I don't care! I ignore everyone's gazes as I make my way quickly as I possibly can up the stairs and to my room. There I collapse on bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I ever thought of taking Rumpel's advice? Hours go by and eventually I realize that it is time to help Anise with the night chores. Now I'm helping her restock some of the bottles that Waltz and Karma brought back from town. I hope Anise does not mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. Holy shit, Kish. Alright. Definitely can't read that out loud. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at the table. Karma passes me by as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. I make my way over to the niece who is already putting bottles on the shelves. Ah, princess, are you okay now? I'm fine. Now what did you need me to do? Anise explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots are where the new bottles go. It's not a hard job, and the one I can easily do without thinking too hard. That's the best kind of job. For a while, the only sounds that can be heard in the Martian are the bottles clinking against each other. Underneath that is the murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they are talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. So princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace? Right. She can't remember working at the palace before. Wait, she can't? I don't mean to pry, I was just trying to make some conversation. Oh, fuck me, Kish. Oh, that's so fucking... I would rather not. Okay. Eventually Parfait and Dolores stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Anise breaks the silence again. The tavern is nice when it's quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open the window. And you can let in all the mosquitoes, since it's summertime here now. My hands move stiffly, placing bottles on the shelves by label. All I want to do is to get the work done and then return to my room and play some MMO RPGs. It was like this at the old palace that I used to work. What? I was hired by a rich family to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the windows on the bottom floor. It seems like her memory has been twisted by my curse, so she cannot remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile. Radiant smile? She must be talking about Emmeline. The head of the mansion is a really kind man, and... She grows suddenly quiet, a look of confusion coming to her face. She pauses, then shakes her head. I can't seem to remember everyone that was there. But I'm pretty sure they're all good people, at least I'd like to think so. I was just a bad maid. She was. Because of her, Dolores' dress was torn. She broke my doll, so I fired her. I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll. Save her doll? Anise looks down, her smile wistful. I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's doll. I was the one cleaning her shelves that day, and I went in, I saw a crow that had come through the open window and pecking at one of the dolls. I shooed it away, but it was too late. The doll had a little rip in their dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly. Oh. So it wasn't Anise who ripped Dolores' shirt, but a bird. Is this why Dolores insisted that Anise deserves an apology? What happened after you were fired? Lady Parfait found me on the streets. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what happened. She never liked me anyway. Anise's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived. I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. I told her I would be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. That I can even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged her to take me in, and she did. I owe Lady Parfait a lot. Why didn't you go back to your father after you were fired? My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. My father is an herbalist, and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So before Rumpel came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies. So you have no one? That's what I thought, but now I have everyone here. The Martian is my family now. Family? Princess, we're all happy to have you here. You really help around the Martian, and I can tell Rumpel's really happy to have you as a partner. The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back into my mind. I cannot help the irritation bubbling inside of me. I know he's a little overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure Rumpel's really trying to help you, just like he's helping Lady Parfait. It's not the same thing at all. The two of us continue working until Anise makes another wistful comment. The place I worked before this, it felt like there was warmth in that gigantic home, but it was stifled. That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without even meaning to. Anise looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when mother... What? Oh. The king suddenly started speaking to me when mother died, but it was never enough. Before that, he was cold and distant. Even now, he favors his new wife and children over me. They were people, but they all wore fake smiles. And my father was the worst of all. I may as well have never existed to him. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? You're talking about the palace, right? The king always seems so nice. He put his kingdom before his children. Anise fidgets nervously. I'm sorry. Apologies are not going to change the past. Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that already happened. I think about Anise, who tried to save my doll, and the way I fired her that day. Rumpel told me once that all I had to do was to listen to people to sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? I'm sorry. Anise looks at me clearly shocked. She stares for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude. Oh, I was just... Why are you apologizing to me, princess? It's for something I did to you. Something I did that you wouldn't remember. That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. I promise I wouldn't hold it against you. Don't tell her! It's not important. Anise's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile isn't as bright as it once was. I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. I'm done. Anise turns to look at me with an unusually tired expression on her face. Thank you for listening to me, princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself too. I feel like I might have said too much. I do not respond to Anise, but instead choose to head out the front door. Anise asks where I'm going, but I just ignore her. I think about heading into town, but then reconsider. I decide to head to the forest instead. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here, I do not have to pretend to listen to anyone, and I do not have to talk about myself. I settle down on the rock and stare up at the sky. I apologize, but Anise did not even understand my apology. And even now, I cannot still bring myself to trust those at the Martian. I sigh and find myself speaking aloud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. Ah! Oh wait. Ah! But have you seen the beautiful sculptures? Sculptures? I need a drink. Oh man. Talking non-stop for an hour is tough! Ah, but have you seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from Ice Princess? I turn to see Rumpel walking toward me, a broad grin on his face. Ice always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly where it has been sculpted. I stare at Rumpel blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry, that one was particularly bad, wasn't it? He sits down beside me and his grin falters a little bit. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet little princess, but I will offer anything else you would need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. I can offer anything. My words! My body! I cut Rumpel off as I'm not in the mood for his usual behavior. You're always like this. All you do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery you constantly give to people. It's shallow. You're right. What? I stare at him. Rumpel is still smiling, but it's not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, princess, and a lot of people are receptive to And a lot of people are receptive to flirting. And nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before, in that making a person happy is a good deed. Look, I'll show you. Zip. Rumpel shifts so that he's looking right at me. I notice that his smile is gone. Lucette, of all the women that I've met, you are the most straightforward and honest. Many do not have the courage or the confidence to exhibit those qualities. And that's why I admire you, and I will always take your words to heart, because I know you will always speak the truth. I look into Rumpel's eyes, which still have a gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments, his words float around my head. No one has ever called my bluntness honesty before, and no one has ever complimented me for it. Rumpel told me before that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees the things I see more... excuse me. Maybe it's because he sees the things I do in a more positive light? My, you're struck speechless by that, aren't you? You look cute. You look cute? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. He said the word cute? That is not what I expected. I glare at him and Rumpel just laughs in response. Ha ha ha! I put a hand up to my cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Rumpel smiles at me, but it is not the usual playful smile. Right now, he almost looks serious. Did he mean what he just said? Ask him if he meant it. Or tell him off. Oh. Did you really mean that compliment? Of course I did. I told you, right? Making a person happy is a good deed. I wanted to show you that. Rumpel's compliments do make people happy, even if I do find his words to be very shallow. But that felt different. Flattery is wonderful, but it is usually only concerns complimenting a woman's physical appearance. Like what Kish does. Though I do that really well, don't I? Oh my god, Kish, this is you. It shouldn't say Rumpel anymore, it should say Kish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Earlier, I bet you made Anise happy too. You were spying on our conversation? I would never! Maybe. I just happened to be making my way down the stairs very slowly. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listened far more than you do. Princess, you shattered my heart so many times there are permanent cracks. But do not worry, the cracks in my heart will allow even more of you to make your way into it. Ah! Slapping my face. That really hurt, actually. Ow. Rumpel awkwardly laughs when ow, my cheeks hurt. Jesus, I slapped myself so hard. Ah, my jaw. It's so painful to read this. Rumpel awkwardly laughs when I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening, princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them, that is one of those ways. Then there is the kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without ever letting the words into their heart or their ears. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they would say anything or whatever benefited them. It's foolish to trust words. What if Anise had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because more often than not, people are good, princess. Most people. I let out an exasperated sigh. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumpel. Ah, what a beautiful sound. It was as if the sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable too, and you have such delicate lips. Right. Am I still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie? How can he say something so genuine and then slide right back into his pathetic flattery? For a moment, silence falls and I find to my surprise that it is not awkward being alone with Rumpel. Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I will never try to get you to flirt with anyone else again. Besides, if you flirted with another man and then grew fond of him, I would be devastated. That would never happen. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say I would be devastated because that would mean that your heart belongs to someone else and... My heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. It's like the biggest otaku ever. What was that anime? What was the anime called? Oh my god. So the anime is called The World God Only Knows. He is the protagonist from that anime. That's the vibes I'm getting. Because his just words are way too cringy. If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once. Because I'm not sure you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. You are unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the woman that he so adores. Then you must be in love with many women. Damn. I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy to chastise him right now, but at least I no longer have the anger inside me from earlier. It's been a long day, and I'm going to bed. Would you like company? I didn't mean. Good night, Rumpel. Good night, Princess Lucette. I make my way back to the tavern, feeling surprisingly light. Still, even if Rumpel's words might make me happier than I care to admit, he is not doing a very good job of helping me with my curse. Might have to do this all on my own after all. The doctor. Why don't I use these voices more often? Because it's tiring. Am I not good enough for them? No, but that's what Danny Bro said. Because it's so tiring to use them. That's why these Cinderella phenomenon streams are so short. They're usually like an hour short because I'm just talking paragraphs and paragraphs with these awful voices. Anyways, I'm gonna stop the stream here, and we'll see the next parts. Laters! Okay, so what did we learn? We learned that Rumpel is a doctor. We still didn't learn his real name. Why is his name Chevalier? We have no idea. Isn't Chevalier like a sort of knight person? Also, he has a sort of regret with his wife, sort of? Like he was married at a point, but I guess he lost her at another point. I have no idea. Still all speculation right now. Anyways, thank you for joining me on this adventure, and I will see you again later when I have more time to do these, and when I am fully energized to read in Rumpel's stupendous voice. Alright, see you guys, bye.